Have you ever wanted or needed some easy to make gravestones for a graveyard scene in your game? If so, this video is going to be for you. This is going to be Dungeons & Dragons Beginning Crafters Easy Headstones. Hi guys, I'm DM Dunn, and today I'm going to show you how I quickly put together some gravestones for a graveyard scene that I was a player in, and we needed them kind of as a surprise, and so I decided to make them. So what really happened is that I had DM Johnny stepped up to run a one-shot where I got to get on the other side of the DM screen and be a player in, which was really awesome. And I was kind of asking him, well, is there anything that you need? What can I give to you? And he, as he was here setting up, trying to set up the camera so you guys could watch if you want to, he said, well, do you have any like gravestones or like a graveyard? And I was like, nope, but I could probably throw something together. So with a few minutes notice, I started crafting. But it wasn't enough minutes, and so when you watch the video, you'll see me for the first about 45 minutes turn to the side as I was crafting and putting these together while we were playing the game. That's how easy these are. You can pay attention to the game and do these quick, simple steps. But I might recommend that you do it before you're playing the game. So here's how I did it. I started off with a simple Dollar Tree foam core. You can use whatever foam you like. This was what I had around, and it was handy, easy, and it was just the thickness that I was looking for. I wanted to have some consistency with them, so I wanted to cut them all the same size, and I also wanted them to fit on a 1-inch base that I could put on top of my grid. I like to play with a 1-inch grid on my tabletop. So the measurements that I chose the stones to be 1/2 inch wide and 5/8 of an inch tall. You can adjust it to whatever you like, not crucial, but those are the measurements that I used. Once I had those like that, I did leave the paper on when I was cutting them as well. I just find it a little bit easier to cut it versus if your knife is a little bit dull, it might rip and kind of tear versus cutting, but tearing the stones might actually look better. So maybe try it out. Type in the comments how it worked out for you if you took the paper off first. And so then after I got my squares, now I wanted to make them look, instead of just squares, I wanted to make them look a little bit more like headstones and a little bit more decorative. So if you want, you can try to round off some of the tops. I just cut off some of the corners. I cut some of them with like just barely cut off the corners. Some of them I cut a lot, made them look kind of like almost like triangles, if you will. So the whole point of this is not to get complicated. Don't go online. Don't do research. You don't have to do any of that. Just varying up a couple of different shapes so that your graveyard looked a little bit more pleasing to the eye, if you will, a little bit more variety to it. So that was it. For the writing or the words that were on the headstones, all I did just took a ballpoint pen so you could press in and create an indentation. Just put some squigglies to make it look like it was writing that was chiseled on there. You can do some shapes. I think I drew a really simple kind of sword on one, some circles, some triangles, but just mostly a lot of little squiggly lines for words. A few of them I did kind of like trace around the edge of the shape to kind of get like a little groove, just to kind of have a little bit of a variety as well too. So, but don't get tied up on all those details. Just kind of make them look however you want, because promise you, people aren't going to be trying to read those words. They're too small, and it's a graveyard headstone. They'll have aged, the whole thing. For the bases, I just got some chipboard because I have chipboard laying around. You can click the Amazon link down below in the description if you want to get access to the same chipboard that I use. But again, I wanted it to be fit on a 1-inch square, so I cut the chipboard into 1-inch squares. Now, I didn't want them to be square because square just looks a little bit too weird, and I wanted them to have the ability to be moved around, so maybe at an angle, and then if it would look more like a diamond on the board. So anyways, so all I did is took some scissors and just rounded off the corners, making them circular. Again, I didn't put a stencil, I didn't put a perfect circle. I wasn't worried about that perfection because it's not necessary. If you want to do it, you can though. What I also wanted to do is I wanted to kind of have, instead of going from the table just to the chipboard, I wanted to have a little bit of an angle. So I just took my my razor blade and I just took away from yourself and making sure your thumb's not in the way, and just slicing around and just turned the chipboard around, just creating a little bit of a shaved edge around the circle, and that'll give a little bit of graduation from the table up to where the headstone is. All right, so now that we got everything cut and sized, decorated as well too, now it's time to throw on some paint. So for the bases, our game board we were using was a grassy one, so I used a dark green, and then I just did a heavy dry brush of a lighter green. Simple as that. So pick whatever colors that yours is going to be. If it's going to be like more of a fresh grave, maybe you want to do some dirt and some browns. Whatever color is going to be on the map that you guys are using, you can do that. And then, so that was it for the base. For the headstones, super easy. I didn't get complicated and do like multiple different types of grays and red browns. All I did, a dark gray, and then I followed it up with an off-white for some highlights. And that's it. Simple as that. Simple, easy, quick and clean. A little bit of hot glue on the bottom of the headstone. Placed it in the middle of the circle, and you are done. Now, the nice thing is, if you do want to go the extra steps, you want to make them look fancier, you can put some grass tufts, you can put some sand on there before you paint it, you can give it some texture, you can do all kinds of cool little things if you want to do that as well too. And if you do those, please write in the comments down below what you did to make yours different or better or enhanced, so we can all share. I'd love to hear about what you guys are doing as well too. And at this point, you guys can have a full graveyard of beautiful, easily made headstones. Guys, do us a great big favor. Write in some comments, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. You can also click our Amazon affiliate link down below. If you're going to buy anything from Amazon, it doesn't cost you anything extra. And if you'd like to really help us out, you can become a Patreon at patreon.com/dmdone. Guys, we thank you so very much. And until next time, have more D&D fun with DM Done.